Yo, we back again, man. It's Chef Pat giving you another story from the driver's seat, man. And I am blessed to give a ride to one of my homies I used to work with, man. My boy Chris Clark. He's a former college tennis player. He's now a full-time entrepreneur, and I had to chat with him because he's got some amazing insight and just some stories that I think he would be great for him to share to other entrepreneurs, especially those of you that were working a full-time job and had an idea and really trying to figure out which way to go. So I'm gonna let Chris tell you a little bit about himself real quick. We're gonna start off with his company. His company's named Toss and Spin.
Toss and Spin, yes.
Yeah.
So we started at Gatorade a long time ago. I spent 9 years in corporate, was furloughed during the pandemic, and really said, you know what, I want to do away with corporate. So I didn't necessarily think I was an entrepreneur, but was thrown into it. Started back in 2020 with this idea on how do we connect the world through racket sports, using my own self. I'm a former college tennis player, like I said, and I knew that if all else fails, I can teach tennis, right? Or I can do things in racket sports. So it really started with that, and my wife challenged me to think bigger, like we're creating an empire here. So from that standpoint, every year we just started growing and started adding people, and I've been figuring it out ever since. But 5 years in, we're still in business, and we have a healthy business, and I really believe that we are on the cusp of something massive. So just taking it day by day, minute by minute, the highs and lows that all come with it, and just taking it one step at a time.
Man, so that's powerful. The sheer fact that you said that you knew you had a skill set to fall back on, but you had an advocate, your wife, that pushed you to think bigger. Matter of fact, one of the things that I used to hear at Gatorade is just create your big, hairy, audacious goal. So she made you have a hairy, audacious goal to go beyond just, hey, go coach tennis. Forget that. So it's good to have that person that's near you, that's close to you, that sees more value in you than you probably saw in yourself at the time. So kudos to her for that.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Like, even on that note, like, sometimes it's hard to just think outside of not only the box, but what you're comfortable with, right? Like, if I was just teaching tennis, I'd be really comfortable right now. It wouldn't be many problems. I'd be making great money. And but honestly, at the end of the day, I felt God blessed me to not be regular, to think bigger. And the thought process there is I'll be doing a disservice if I don't go for it. And I think I was telling you yesterday, it's like, we're either going to do two things. We're going to create something that lives forever, or we're going to go broke. But either way, we're going for it, right?
Hey, gotta be willing to try.
And I think at the end of the day, like, what gives some sort of comfort is that if all else fails, I can get back on the court and do my thing. Because at the end of the day, that's how it started. So if we got to go back to that, we can go back to that.
Okay. So 5 years, man, that's phenomenal. A lot of businesses don't make it 5 years. So in the 5 years, like you said, there's some ups and downs. Can you just kind of highlight some of the biggest lessons that you have learned during these 5 years that you think may help other entrepreneurs that are pretty much still in that growing phase like you're in right now?
Yeah, one thing that's been really good for me, I would say, over the last year is I'm on social, but I really delete Instagram at key times because it truly is a distraction. It's very good from a business perspective, but Instagram and social portrays this notion that everybody's killing it. And as you know, as a founder, like, we're putting out content to show the good, but no one really puts out a lot of content to show the bad. And I honestly think, as an entrepreneur, like, for me, I'm getting kicked in the face every single day. Like, every single day, like 90% of the time, it's painful. It is truly painful. Like, not so much now, but I mean, 2 years ago, you're figuring out, how are we going to make payroll? What are we going to liquidate? How are we going to keep this thing going? And to any entrepreneur out there, man, I just challenge you to find ways to stay alive. Find ways to keep going, to stay in business, because when you get over the hump, like, it's going to be good, but you don't know when that hump is. And I think of Ice Cube, he said it, like, if you're not prepared to be in business for 5 years and you can make revenue without making profit. But if you're not prepared to not make profit for 5 years, like, don't start, right? So it's very difficult, very very difficult. Even such that I flew from the East Coast down to Miami yesterday to go to meet with 20 different people in companies, to now fly to Arizona tonight on a red eye, to then host 4 different events, to then take the red eye back on Thursday night for the holiday. Like, woo, I'm not putting that on the Toss and Spin feed or the Instagram. Like, that's the things you don't see, but it's a grind. But one day you do it because you just feel like it will be worth it.
Man, that's friggin' amazing. Amazing. That's some great encouragement, because to really think 5 years out, that's probably a very important point. Can you see yourself doing this for 5 years, and with it during those 5 years, really not make money for yourself, not be financially as comfortable as you would want to be as a business owner?
Yeah.
And that's tough, and that is uncomfortable. It's hard, especially if you have a family. It's a lot of people that are impacted by that decision. That's a major decision. So even thinking about that decision, I really want to know, because you started the idea while you were working, right, towards the end of the last corporate job you had, right?
Yeah.
So, and there's plenty of entrepreneurs that are working jobs that their business idea is a side hustle, and they're really teetering on that. They're in that space of, do I just keep doing the side hustle and just burn myself out working a full-time job and a side hustle, or do I just say the heck with it, just go all in and make this thing happen? What would you say to those entrepreneurs that are on the fence, and how they make that decision, either stay with the corporate job and just keep the business as a part-time gig, or just go all in?
Yeah.
What do you think are the key factors?
I laugh. I tell people, keep your corporate job, and here's why I say that, is because I don't think people understand how hard it is until you're in it. So I think you want to build something while at corporate, while you have that stability, because just in case in a year you don't want to do it, you have that job to fall back on, right? I think too many times people quit, like, I want to be an entrepreneur, I want to be my own boss. Well, in corporate, you work 9 to 5 or 8 to 5 or 7 to 5. In your own business, you work all day, every day. You don't take days off. That's if you wanted to work, right? Like, if you kind of just half doing it, like, you can take days off, you can go on vacations, you can make it look good and all those fun things. But the reality is, much like I'm doing now, like, you're working. Yes, I do have freedom to make my own schedule and do those things, but like on Saturday, while you're golfing or you're having fun, I'm thinking about work. And if I'm not thinking about work, I'm trying to figure out how to do more work, and you can never go hard enough. So I always tell people to, like, just take your time when you're making decisions, because it could just be detrimental if you quit your job and then 2 weeks later you find out you don't want to do this, right? Like, experiment while you have the corporate job before you end up quitting. And
Chris, man, that's been some amazing insight. I definitely appreciate these thoughts that you're sharing, and sometimes it's not easy to think about where you've come from, because some of those places you came from were painful in the early stages. But you look like you're getting over that hump. And I'm really curious right now, like, where do you see the company going in the next 5 years, man? Where are you taking the company? What direction is Toss and Spin going in? How big can you see it going? Like, what are your future thoughts for the company?
Yeah, well, one thing I like to say is that life responds to effort. So the harder you go, at some point, in my opinion, if you're doing the right things, you will break through. For Toss and Spin, it's about how do we put Toss and Spin in more markets across the country, from a lessons and classes perspective, and then really develop our agency events business for curated experiences in tennis, pickleball, and of course, as you found out yesterday, paddle. As
Didn't even know what the heck that was. Man,
it's huge in Miami. So yeah, that's where we're gonna go. We're hiring people, but I think also with that, you got to be careful. You overload your staff and things slow, you have a problem. You don't have enough staff, you have a problem. So it's really just taking it step by step, brick by brick. And 5 years ago when I started, and I was selling $60 tennis lessons and doing them, and I'm looking at it now, and I'm in Miami. We had events going on in New York. We have events coming up in Arizona. Like, it's pretty crazy to, when I sit back and think, like, wow, it's possible. It makes me hungrier, right? But that's where I see us going, continuing to grow, continuing to scale. And people will be coming to us, not me going to them, because they want to work with us.
There it is. Okay. So where can people find out more information about Toss and Spin? How can they get in contact with you guys? If somebody, whoever's listening, actually wants to learn a little bit more about Toss and Spin, how to say their company can bring you guys in to do an event. Please let the people know where to find you.
Yeah, it's simple. TossandSpin.com. All of our handles are Toss and Spin. I'm Chris at TossandSpin.com. Shoot me a message and let me know what you think. We'd love to connect with you.
Boom. Perfect, man. Chris, I definitely appreciate it. It's been an honor as I'm getting ready to drop you to the airport so you can get on a flight and get over to the West Coast. The frequent flyer miles are definitely adding up.
Yes.
Yes. Once again, man, this is Chef Pat, just chiming in, just giving you stories from the driver's seat. And it's been an honor to sit with an amazing entrepreneur that I personally know. Love the work he's doing and proud of all the progress that you are making, and look forward to your future progress and growth with the company.
Appreciate it, man. I'll talk to you later.